Hello everyone, how you lot been? Alright, have you had a good week and been doing lots of nice things? What have I been doing? Nothing. So, this week, come and have a look, see if you can guess what we're going to do. I've got mixed seafood, I've got langoustines, I've got pork rib, chopped up nice and small, get your butcher to do that, and we got some chicken. So today, if you ain't guessed, we're going to be doing the big kahuna of holiday Spanish food. We're going to be doing paella mixta. Mixta means mixed, seafood and meat. You can have either or, but I like to do both. It's not called paella, it's not called paella, it's called paella. So the L becomes a J, paella. It's got no chorizo or chorizo in it. Chorizo is the way to say that, but you don't put it in there at all. It's not a traditional Spanish food, it overpowers it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to stick the onions. We've got some onions here, diced up nice, cut them nice and small. 4 cloves of garlic. We're going to put that in some olive oil. We're going to put the chicken and we're going to put the pork rib in with it, and we're going to cook it all up till it's got a nice colour. Then we take it from there. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so I'll be sticking in the onions and the garlic. Like so. Slinging out chopped up pork rib. You have to get a butcher to do it unless you've got a chopper. Sounds like chopper. Because the bone is very tough and it'll hurt your hands. And for the chicken, I tend to use chicken wings because you've got the nice little thigh bit on it and a nice little wing bit that you can separate. So nice little pieces to share. There you go, like that. And then we colour it all up. Keep stirring it around till it colours up and everything. The onions and the garlic are nice and soft. So we've had our pork and our chicken simmering away here over a medium heat. The pan is a 30cm dish, 12 inches. It's important that I tell you that because it'll govern the quantities of the ingredients. So that's been simmering away. Now it's starting to caramelise, as you can see. So what we're going to do is take it off the heat quickly, or turn it right down actually, and we're going to make the stock. The stock is very easy. I use, instead of salt, I use stock cubes. I like using stock cubes because it gives you the salt and you've got a nice bit of flavour. So I've got 1 fish stock cube and 1 chicken stock cube and a little bit of boiling water. And what we're going to do is, the ingredient is like near enough a whole cup of rice. But what you want to do is double the quantity of liquid to the rice. So we've got that. We're going to stick 1 cup of boiling water and then 1 cup of wine. And the important thing that gives it the colour is the saffron. Now, if Spain was to use saffron in all its cooking, there wouldn't be enough saffron in the world. When you think about the amount of restaurants, Spanish restaurants in the world, and the amount of saffron that we're supposedly meant to use, you just wouldn't have enough. So a lot of the time they use food colouring. Good food colouring, it's got quantity of saffron in it, but nonetheless food colouring. So if you can't get saffron, it's too expensive, just use food colouring. So there we go, there's our stock. Yeah, so as this is now cooking away, it's been simmering for 20 minutes. They're starting to caramelise. Now is where we put our stock in. Little at a time, just so it covers it. There we go, about that much, and give that another 20 minutes over a medium kind of heat, and just let it do its own thing. Right, so as you can, come and have a look, come and look. As you can see, it's been simmering now for 20 minutes over a medium heat, and all the meat is cooking away nicely. It's taking on all the flavours of the garlic and the wine and all the rest of it, and and the saffron. You can see the colour. But now, what we're going to do now is put the rice in, we'll put the rice in and give it a quick stir and let it do its own thing for about 10 minutes. There we go, just sprinkle it all about, like so. Give it a wallop in there. Yeah, cover it all up with juices, smashing. There we go. There. And we'll come back to that in 10 minutes. We'll see how it's doing for moisture. If it's not enough, we'll add a bit more water, just like risotto. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be overly watery because all the juices have reduced and all the flavours have reduced, so it's concentrated, so it can afford a bit of water if it needs it. So we come back in 10 minutes, then we'll add the seafood and more water if we need to. Right, so we've come back 10 minutes later and you can see that it's absorbed a lot of the moisture, so we need to add more water. What I didn't say to you was, we make sure it's hot water, because if it's cold water it brings down the temperature of the cooking, and then the rice won't absorb the moisture properly and it will never cook. It'll just end up like a mush. So let's add a bit, give it another 5 minutes, come back and see how we go. Okay, so we've had 20 minutes cooking the meat first of all, in the onions and the garlic. Then we've had 20 minutes simmering in the stock, the meat simmering in the stock. Then we've had 10 minutes with the rice in the stock and the meat. A further 5 minutes to add more water if need be. And the last 5 minutes we can stir in the seafood, about 250 grams, because it's going to be mainly meat, a meat bias on this one. Stir in the seafood, like so. There we go, cover it all up. It's got enough moisture, but just keep an eye on it. If it needs a bit more, sling in a bit more hot water. Then we're going to have some peas in there as well. Yeah, stir it all up, make sure it's all correct. I can already see that it's going to need a bit more moisture. So we just put a little bit more hot water in. That'll do, just a little bit. So everything's covered and mixed about. There. Last finishing touches, we get in some langoustines. I'll put them in raw. A lot of people like to cook them beforehand. I don't. This is what I do. I put them in raw, like so. Push them down. You may not want seafood. If you don't want seafood, don't put any in. Just use the meat and the rice and the vegetables. And for the last, I'm going to steam it. So just get a lid, stick the lid over the top, and for 5 minutes just let it do its own thing, and then we come back to it and see how it looks. Right, so we've had it on, I've had to give it a little bit longer, not a lot, a couple of minutes. As you can see, it's already steamed up underneath there, taking nicely. I'm going to switch it off and I'm going to let it stand for 10 minutes, and then we come back to it, serve it up and see how nice it looks. Well, I'm hoping anyway. See you then. Okay, right, so we've had, just to recap, I've used pork and chicken and a little bit of seafood. So it's a paella mixta, but with a meat bias. Bias? I'm getting confused now. And we've had 20 minutes of cooking the meat, 20 minutes of it with it in the stock, 10 minutes with the rice in, and then a further 10 minutes with the seafood in and letting it soak up the rest of the stock. You can see I've garnished it with a bit of roasted red pepper, and then you let it stand for 10 minutes. So now the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's have a look. Not too shabby. Some people like it a bit drier, some people like it a bit wetter. I think that's about right for me. Now, the thing is, it's best to cook this on a gas stove. I haven't got a gas stove. It's electric, it's what's the name, an induction thing or whatever it is. Anyway, so I know little tricks. I've been cooking this for many, many years. You have to keep an eye on it. A paella dish, you can use it, you don't have to use it. It always looks better in one. You can use it in a pot. When you've got a gas flame, you get a uniform heat. When you've got an induction or ceramic hob, you won't get a uniform heat unless you get a diffuser. Or unless you know some tricks. I know some tricks. The result is the same. But best, always best with a gas for this one, with a gas hob. Let me give you a little bit of history about paella. Paella comes from Valencia in Spain. It doesn't come from all of Spain, it comes from Madrid down, but mainly from Valencia. From Madrid up, we eat loads of steak and loads of meat and loads of fish and all the rest of it, but not too heavy on the rice. We have our own rice paddy fields in Spain and Valencia. And paella was cooked with like the farmers and the land workers sticking in it wherever they could find a little bit of rabbit, snail. If there was a wild boar running around, they'd slaughter that, stuff that in and all. And so the paella valenciana is very thin. It's not as thick as this. But if I was to make you one, you'd think, what the fuck is that? It doesn't look great. If you go there, it's when you think, well, I've just paid a lot of money, but this ain't too much there. So we beef it up a little bit. This isn't what a Spaniard would call paella. It's what we call paella. Nonetheless, it tastes marvellous. So there you go. Paella mixta. I hope you enjoy it. And let me know. Give me some feedback. Share it if you enjoy it. And let me know how you get on. And next week, I'll have something else for you. Everyone, I'm a Cockney Spaniard. Thank you very much. Love you all. See you next week.